That's full trigger. All right, we're good. Good enough. This was a stinking blast. Yeah, just like the title says, this is RC Guy Garage, and this is the next episode of While My Hair Dries. Come on, Tony. You want to fight? Nah, Tony's a good guy. He's got that podcast, While My Battery Charges, and I've got my podcast of While My Hair Dries. We're working on the Redcat Racing Kaiju. Think about the name, racing. Basically trying to turn this, I guess, into a racing truck or something. Like the title or thumbnail basically says, is Redcat just another Hyundai? Is it? Is Redcat actually owned by Hyundai? Man, I'm telling you right now, I'm starting to get kind of those thoughts. The only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm looking at a stinking Hyundai. That's what I'm looking at. You gotta like reel yourself back. Now go back to the years of when Hyundai was honestly considered a disposable car. Maybe they didn't consider it a disposable car, but yeah, I did. And all of my friends did. Yeah, they were pieces of garbage. So is Redcat, this is actually from Redcat. So this is a part from Redcat, even though it says Amazon on it. So is this car a piece of garbage? No, it's not, but there are some things. Well, there's actually one thing that I noticed, and checking that truck, it has the same deal. I'm going to break open a brand new package. Now, this was a brand new package that you would call, it's an OEM older piece. I've got original parts that I bought when I bought that Redcat. I knew that at the time, I should stock up on a couple of things because I knew I was going to full trigger that thing. Wanted to test it out, and I'll tell you right now, that thing tested out absolutely mint. It has been rumored, and I point blank have to say it's been rumored, that there's been a plastics formulation change in this car to make things more flexible. That would be a good thing if that was the case. Unfortunately, for the breakage that I discovered, there's a reason why it's bad, and there's also a realization right now of a design change that Redcat changed but never resolved like the original design. Like they never reeled back and said, oh, we should probably do this so that this doesn't happen. And this is why right here, this part broke. Now I have to get my note in here to do this because otherwise you're not going to be able to see what's going on. But I'm just going to set things up like I do. I'm going to get my camera in here. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on with this Redcat here. So, I'm going to use my cell device here. And it's been getting a lot of good comments, which is pretty good. Starting like a good dialogue, but what I see right here is exactly the reason why. I mean, I say exactly the reason why, like I'm some kind of know-it-all. I'm not. But I know what my eyes see, and I know that this is definitely 100% a problem. And it's a problem they should resolve. And I'm not against Redcat. Like, I mean, somebody made a good comment. And I also want to touch on something else, too. I know I'm just wasting time here. But that's all right. All right. GoPro on. So right here is where the problem is. And we're going to zoom in right now so you can see what's going on. You see that right there? Let's get a top-down view of what I believe the main issue is. Now, if you know what you know, based upon what you see, And then also looking at this part right here, what do your eyes see? Your eyes see nothing. Man, that ain't working. Well, I know what my eyes see. What my eyes see is the fact that this hole right here. Leave a comment in the description. What do you think this hole is for? This hole wasn't designed to have a threaded hinge pin or a threaded hub pin, whatever you want to call it. This was designed, probably initially, in my assumption, was to have a pin and a retainer screw. And that's where this broke. It broke and stretched. It broke and stretched right at that area. See what I'm saying? Right at that area is where this piece broke. That is a huge negative right there. So, yeah. That's why I'm calling this the Hyundai. Because like I said, initially, well, I mean, maybe some people might want to call it the Yugo. If anybody remembers Yugo, the thing was, the slogan was, you go, it don't. So essentially, I've already taken some things apart. To get to this point, it was a series of a bunch of screws, and it's because the design is different. So all these screws had to come off in order to get the arm off. And that's because the sway bar, the wheelie bar is integrated into the lower half here, and it's also integrated into the shock tower. So the shock tower has 2 bolts. There's 2 from the back side, which are these small ones right here. So 2 from the back side, and then you have these button head screws, which are a good size screw coming from the inside of the chassis going towards the back. And then the other screws are basically just, you know, taking apart the this back piece, taking off this piece, and I think that's it. So it is a good amount of screws to go ahead and get to that point. We'll go ahead and stick them in the magnetic tray. But this piece right here, that's a faulty kind of deal. That's really why this thing broke. If there is a plastics formulation change, again, like people have said, I want to know where exactly is the formulation change, and if this was changed to a softer plastic, does that make sense? Does that make sense to have a hole for a hinge pin or for a pin style, not a threaded pin, but for a pin style to retain it? I mean, that hole is like where this broke. That's got to be the reason why this broke. I mean, it tore right there. I mean, you see the snap off. The snap off is right there. I feel that this probably could have survived a little bit more. Now, I am placing blame in myself. But no, that's why I say no. So it's like a 50-50. It's Redcat's bad design or them not fixing it. Like, I mean, get what I'm saying? They got the right idea of having a captured pin, but they got the wrong idea. Yeah. With this thin of plastic, that's the other problem. Because they had to mill out so much material, with this thin of plastic, that's a weak spot. So that is bad on Redcat right there. I'm going to say that all day long. Because I 100% do not agree with the fact that that's a flaw in the design. Like I said, flaw in the design. And that's why I'm joking around calling this, you know, the Hyundai. So keep our pieces together. Toss them in the mag tray. Replacing the arm is pretty easy. It also gives me a chance to check these bearings on the hub just to see how things are coming out. So I'm just going to pop this little pin retainer brace. I think they call that the D block. So I think they call that the D block. So it'd be A, B, C, and D block. So this would, I guess, be considered the D block. Gonna remove the shock. Got sensitive ears, watch out. And that's easy as that. Pin itself, what you do is you take the pin and you'll roll it on a table, but we didn't have that kind of an issue, so I'm just going to leave it in place. The arm itself, it's just, I think the size is probably fine, but the negative about this is considered a 6S vehicle. So I think that's the only place where I'm seeing that this is a negative. So I'm going to grab the arm and I'm going to compare, I guess, the flex. I wish there was a way for me to show you. I mean, I suppose I could put it on a torque wrench, but I don't have a digital torque. I don't have a digital torque wrench, and I also don't have a the old style torque wrench. The old style torque wrench probably would show better. So, but that is a way you could check like plastic flex. So we're gonna flex this plastic. We're going to see, like, I'm just going to tell you, you know, by my mind, if this feels similar. Now, we do have a missing piece, but I will try my best to, look at that. There's a hole on that side, too. So that is definitely a weak point. Come on, Redcat. You guys are being dumb. So in this box, this is my box of Redcat. So I had bought in, so here's the links or the sway bars, whatever it is. Here's like an older, I think this is a front link. This is one of the original front links, I believe. Chassis parts, just parts in general. But I also have, see, I also have this right here. And these do not go for this. If anybody has an idea what these are for, put a comment in the description. Or put a comment in the comment section. Not the description. So, box of Redcat. We got front lower arms. And we should have rear lower arms. So I'm going to pop these open and just see if there's a difference. Noticing that it didn't come with the protective covers. Huh. That's like an optional part to buy. Yeah, I guess it is. They leave that as an optional part. See, I've got things like I've got the rear hubs. So I've got the rear hub carriers. So I've got parts. And if you look at the plastic, you can tell that these are old because the plastic itself is yellowing. Actually, I have 2 sets of hubs. I guess I was expecting some stuff to break. So the original part number, which I'm not sure if this has changed at all, RER 12442. And that's the rear lower suspension arm original. And what's the point of that? Horrible bag opener guy. Now, I believe these are identical pieces. So there's no left and right. Pretty confident that the way they did this was identical. I see a B on there, but maybe that means back. There's a B on there. I wonder if that means back. So it's not going to make a difference. So in a way, that's one thing that's good about Redcat is that they do the equal side thing. So there's no left, there's no right. It's basically just flop it and it's identical. So this is so easy to swap these parts over, that is one of the positives. But what I was going to do is I was going to show flexibility. So I'm going to take this piece off because we need that piece. Oh! Sometimes I do that. Look at all the dirt that got packed in there. Don't ever say I don't clean my stuff. Because I do, eventually. So it looks like some junk. It's really stuck in there. Clean it when I have to. And right now, I technically don't even have to. Yeah, I put that all in the shock. That was a good idea. All right. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to see by my fingers, like, do I feel that this is a good way to test it right here. Do I feel that there is a difference in the arms as far as flexibility? So grab this brand new arm and, oh my God, to be honest with you, it almost feels like the old one is more flexible. No. Without being scientific, no. The flex is the same. So without having scientific proof, the flex is basically the same. So I'm going to go ahead and just install this piece. Boy, is that a long... Did I use the right screw? That felt awful long. Nah, that wasn't the right screw. Well, it goes all the way. That was the screw for the shock. Whoops. Well, at least it threads all the way. Make sure you use the right screw. There we go. Now, what I should be doing is I did say that I wanted to check out this hub. While it's out, I might as well check it out. And no, I'm not sitting, I'm standing. This is what I love about my bench, is that, I mean, I will sit eventually, because, I mean, but doing most repairs, I don't sit. Somebody had said, like, yeah, when do you ever not sit and work on an RC car? It's like, dude, I don't sit. Like, I prefer not to. I feel like I'm that always on the go kind of person. Or I try to be. All right. So... axle straight. The grit that I'm feeling, I feel that's normal, but while I've got this right here, what I do want to do is I am going to just give that screw a little bit of a touch to make sure it's tight, because that's what keeps the pin in. And it definitely seems like it's fine. So I'm all right with that. But I am going to pop the... I'm going to pop the hub out. Or I'm going to, yeah, pop the axle out of the hub. If I could take it off. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know what? Guess what? I'm going to sit. Because now I'm trying to, like, do stuff on camera. All right. So, pin's good. Look at all this dirt. Just thought for a second I should clean the area, but I'll just set these parts. There's my clean area. Just set the pots right there. All right, I just wanted to pop this out just to check the bearings And we do have rubber sealed bearings. Bearing operates nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. So while I'm right here, I'm just gonna clean that section out. So I'm gonna pop out the bearings. The bearings front to back are the same size. So I just want to clean things out. There is a better way to do that. Basically push on the bearing itself. That way. The inside showing a little bit of junk. So that was from that. So just like that part is supposed to do, it's coming up against the surface of the bearing. So it is doing what it's supposed to do. And these are nice. Let's clean this up a little bit too. While I'm here, just get the grit out. Now this just, I think this just retains the pin just in the event that something would potentially come apart. So we're looking good as far as these pieces go. Just going to kind of just put this together here for now. Now this hub is pretty nasty. Let's see, did that do anything? A little bit. You see, what happens is I kind of get in the zone and don't talk, and I don't know what to show. Like, I mean, I feel like everything's being shown on camera, so what is the point to doing any kind of communication? You can basically see what's going on. And most of you guys don't want to do this stuff anyway. So, yeah. Feels good. I'm happy with that. 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 I'm going to keep it in the same hole that they had it in, which is the inner hole, because I did discover that that's the better spot for it. Not too tight, but tight enough. This is the negative for me, man. It really is. This is the part that broke. Why would you do that? They've got room to make this thicker. You know, I'm going to measure something real quick. Why did Redcat go that route with tapering this piece. I understand that there needs to be sometimes an area that gives, but so we're looking at 8.3-ish at the small section to where that is. Now, if they just kept it at maybe the 10, or if they kept it at the, what's that, 9? If they kept that at the 9 and filled that hole, that would have helped. That is for, those are for retaining a stinking pin. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have left those holes there. That's a weakness and a flaw that, in my personal opinion, doesn't need to be there. Let the whole arm piece break off. Don't give it a reason to break. That's why I'm saying I feel like this company is the old Hyundai. And maybe they're trying to be the new Hyundai, but they're not going to make it if they keep doing stupid stuff like this. Because it is going to piss people off. Because I'm not the only one that's going to see that as a potential weakness. Now, I should have, but I don't know anybody that does. I mean, I never will. At least I say I never will right now. After a crash, who analyzes their RC under a stinking microscope? I know I don't. I'm not going to be analyzing it, looking for fractures and all this other stuff. I'm just going to keep ripping it. And then when something breaks, I'll just go, oh, well, maybe that's why. And that's the other thing that I don't like. Because that pin so you have to put the right amount of torque on this, because the pin doesn't stop. What I'm looking for is flexible movement, maybe with the slightest amount of resistance. And I think that's that right there. Back it off just a squeak more to see what it's like. Yeah. Now, when I see the thread reveal on this side versus the thread reveal on this side, it almost appears as though maybe that side is binding. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop out that screw just to get a look by taking the shock out of the equation. Just to see if there's just to see if this is binding. And this binds throughout the whole process. So I'm going to pop the pin out just to make sure it's not the pin. Because it could be that this pin is just dirty. Providing, and it is. Oh, wow, it definitely is. Well, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, it definitely was. See if it floats in there. Nice. Nah. It's a little bit of dust in there. But that pin goes through pretty easy. So, I want to say it's that. Let's just toss that in place. So, that one does bind maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to back that one off just a squeak. Just to see if I can get some of that binding out of there. Is that really? Yeah, that's the other size, isn't it? Or is it? Yeah, it is. What do I do with it? Why is it gone? Didn't I just have it here? Maybe I used... Oh, dude, you gotta be kidding me. What's going on here? Where did the, Ouch. Freaking out. Just gonna back it off just a touch. See if I can get... That's better. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Come on, guy. What are you doing? You know what? What if I check the drive cup? While I'm here, I should check this rear end. Feels pretty good. Got some cup slop in there. That feels good. That pin is all right, and I'm not gonna break out the microscope. It just ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna magnaflux. We're not gonna magnaflux these parts here. We're just gonna put it together and rip it. Did notice a little oddity right there. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a little bit of a bump up. Now, if I look at the under chassis piece, doesn't seem to be a reason why that little bump up is there. Not sure why that's there, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a razor blade right now and kind of slice that little edge off. Just like that. Now it's flat. Don't know what that was. Probably didn't really matter, but it's gone now. All right. No. Wing needs to go on. So the wing is captured on this base by 1, 2, 3 screws, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we actually have a total of, we actually have a total of 7 spots. So we got 4 up top and 3 down below. And it kind of like locks in. There's like it locks in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get these screws on the bottom in there first. So to make sure that that's actually aligned on the pins. Actually, that's the wrong screw. That's one of the longer screws. So that longer screw goes in this position. There are 3 screws. The 2 outsides of the longer screws. And then that one middle one is a shorter one. So you can see the size difference between the screw. That's the middle one, and these ones are the 2 outer. I'm going to go ahead, while I'm right here, I'm just going to put on this little brace here, the bumper. The wing keeps falling off, but I'm right in this spot, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw this all together. So I got these longer screws here, and then these screws right there. Now there's 2 screws from the back side here. These ones are kind of a pain to get to, so you're better off with a long reach driver. Coming in through the back, you can see they go right there. The wheelie bar itself, the wheels are actually in the way to get that screw right there. But you can angle it just a little bit. The last 2 screws are right there. And I did have to pop my zip tie off. If you use a ball driver, so if you use a ball driver, the ball driver will definitely work. And I just pulled the wire through, didn't I? Good going, guy. Oh, man. See what I did? Pulled the wire out. These last screws go here. Come on, get off. And this one is the harder one to get because the motor's kind of almost in the way. See? So you almost need like a longer driver. Oh, did that strip? You gotta be kidding me. Ah, get off. Yeah, I think I stripped it out. Dang it! Did I really strip that? Yeah, it's stripped. Aye, come on. I didn't do that hard. Go ahead and clip the fan motor back on here. I will put another zip tie on there because I don't want my fan coming off. But I do have to address the fact that I ripped the receiver wire out of the channel because my fingers can't grab this tiny little pin. Yeah, it looks like we're good. Stuff that back in there. Mint. See how those wires are in there? Absolutely beautiful. That's the way this box should have been. This box just should have been this way, which is backwards. Because that way the wire stays out of the way. That was the whole purpose for doing that. I'm not going to use thread lock this time because I was technically already there with thread lock. So I don't feel that I'm going to need the thread lock. At least now. And what I do with my driver to take the wheels off. I probably left it outside. Idiot. And that's my favorite one, too. The heck is that? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Wow, check this out. It's even zipped. See, every once in a while, this is my travel pack. Every once in a while, I'll do things the right way. The right way. It's rare, but I do it. But there's enough thread lock on there that I'm happy. I can feel the resistance, which is all I needed. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw the, I'm going to throw the unbroken one on there. Or the non-broken tire. So this is what I consider, I guess, the non-broken tire. This is the other side. It does have a little bit of a chip right there. I'm just going to go with it, man. What I'm going to do is realize the backflip that I did. The backflip that I did is what killed this. I can see it looks like it's kind of pulling away. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and then hit it with some glue inside. Looks all right except for maybe right there. So I'm going to take some my enamel reducer, stretch the wheel, clean up the edge, re-glue it, and then stick it back on. So I'll be back. All right, while cleaning the wheel, okay, I obviously know that there's a chip right there. So I can go ahead and put a little bit of glue in here. But I think I found another, sadly to say, I think I found another design flaw in why not to get these tires. And this is the first time that I've noticed this. So what I did is I took my pick. Using the pick had nothing to do with it. I didn't poke the tire. What I did is I was just basically digging out all the junk, all the dirt that got in here, right? So I'm stretching the tire out. Well, I get to here. What do you see right there? My opinion, what has happened, yeah, I'll show you. What I feel I was getting at here is right here. See that little cut is? What do you think that little cut's from? It's not from me stabbing nothing. But look what happened. There must have been either a piece of rock or something, or maybe even just the folding over of the tire. Something happened right there that compromised my tire. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some tire glue on there. I don't know if that's going to help. I did notice another section here somewhere where it looks like it's right there. Right? Stinking there. So I'm going to peel this away, throw some glue in there, and then hopefully these tires will survive. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I love these tires. I might have to try something else, because if these aren't working out for me, somebody mentioned that Proline makes a belted tire that's similar. The only thing I don't like about belted... Now remember, this is all opinion based, just based upon, like I've always said, my opinion of my vehicle and the way I drive. I'm not the RC, whatever somebody called me. Somebody was kind of getting on my case. I don't even remember who the guy was, and maybe that's a good thing. He was getting on my case. Something about, I don't speak for the RC community. Whoever said I did? I speak for myself, guy. I'm spitting. I speak for myself. This is RC Guy Garage, the God King of RCs.
This is RC Guy Garage, the God King of RCs, so you better watch where you step.
Come on, guy. Relax. But anyways, back to the stinking show. The only thing that I think in my mind that I don't like about belted tires is that I feel like belted tires are just rougher. And you know what I mean by rougher? That belted area absorbs less, where these Kaiju tires absorb more. Maybe what I need to realize is that I've got to change things. If I want to rip it on the road, go the belted tire. Maybe not something that's a knobby. Oh, you mean the tires that the Redcat Racing Kaiju actually came with, V2? So now that my center diff has been swapped out, I'm going to switch over to these tires because I feel like in a way I did Redcat a disservice by keeping this thing on the road and not running its own belted tires, because what I didn't like seeing was that right front wheel picking up and the whole thing just completely diffing out. I feel with the center diff being tuned a little bit, it's got 20 million diff fluid in the center diff, and that's what I seem to like, at least for this kind of a vehicle. Maybe that's going to tame down the ballooning a little bit. Not completely. The front's still going to diff out just because of the nature of it. But, yeah, let's just glue that tire. Never mind. All talk and no work. All right, so I feel I'm satisfied with how clean that is. This is the glue that I use. This is a 20 to 45 second glue. This is the Bob Smith Industries. This is just what I use. You know, it seems to work for me, and I'm okay with that. Looks like I gotta clean that. Boy, where did all that stuff come from? Must have used this on something else. It's the glue itself is black. You know what? I should set this up how I actually do it. This is not how I glue tires. This right here, what you're seeing, this is how I typically, this is how I balance my tires. This is how I balance my tires, but this is also how I glue it because I use it like a jig. You can see that, you know, I mean, there's crust in there, so I'm not even going to waste my time trying to, like, balance anything out. It does not look like this tire is vented either. So I'm just going to kind of leave things the way they are because I'm kind of getting sick of doing stuff. But what I'll do, right, is flip this around. So I can basically hang it over like this, right? And I'll put the glue inside and I'll just spin it around. Now, having these lug nuts on here is kind of a little bit of a pain. So I may do this a little bit differently than I normally do. So here we go. Provided this glue is going to come out. It's because it gives me a way to move it. Do you know what I'm saying? Now right there, I'll put a little extra, because that's where a little bit of the cut was. And then once I get it going, just go like that. And that's basically it. And then I'll just let it set up. You know what I'm saying? Take a little bit of a cleaning cloth. Maybe just clean it up a little bit. Just like that. That's how I do it. Then I can go ahead and go to the other side and basically do the same thing. So I'm going to flex that tire down. And I'm just going to put a ring around the tire itself. So just like this. And that's how I do it. So my way might not be your way, but it works for me. what I'm doing is I'm just grabbing the inside of the rim just to get the excess glue off of the actual rim itself. And then give it a spin. Just let it do its thing. That is how I glue my tires. Like I said, I just do things not necessarily the average, regular way. Just do something different. So, and I feel the spinning, what it does is it kind of keeps it to that outside edge. I can already smell it's curing. Or I can smell the glue. Getting high here. I'm going to have to open up. I'm going to have to open up a door here. So that's basically what I do right there. I feel the way that works, I feel is absolutely mint. So that's how I do it. In case you're wondering what the front looks like, that's what the front looks like now. Spun out. I feel the glue is mint. Definitely a good amount of glue. I like the way it looks on that back side. Looks mint. Who knows? Maybe it'll tear the tire. I have no idea. This is just the way I do it. Looks like it needs to set up just a little bit longer. I just don't have the time. I just don't like wasting time, man. Yeah, I don't know. The longer I wait, or how did I say that the other day? The more time I waste or whatever, I'm already 1 foot in the grave. Every minute that's wasted is that much closer to the grave or something like that. Or every second that's wasted, I'm that much closer to the grave. I still got to get that Alexa device off the bench here because I know that screen is probably getting mangled. Alright, so Redcat Racing Kaiju is repaired. I feel it's a flaw in the design is the reason why this broke, to be honest with you. Yeah. I did crash. But still. No. 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 Redcat. Listen to me.
The God King is speaking.
Just change that stupid part. Don't do stupid moves like that. I mean, it didn't happen in the original Kaiju, but I think because you added the extra 2 inches or 1 7/8, then I had a suspicion. I had a suspicion it was going to be a problem. I knew the truck was going to fly better. That's great. But, yeah, we are going to take these vehicles and we're going to smash and thrash them and have fun and do things that we probably shouldn't do. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't change or fix your original design. Like, I mean, having those holes right there to capture a pin that was axed out of the equation because you went with threaded pins just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe you're thinking that is like a break point. Yeah, it's a break point and it doesn't need to be. So anyways, this is RC Guy Garage working on the Redcat Racing Kaiju EXT, trying to square away things. That's something that kind of can't be squared away. Maybe if I throw some glue in there or something. Maybe if I could heat up something and like reinforce that area, but I shouldn't have to. Redcat, make the design the right way. Don't cheap out because you're going to end up being like that company you go, or you're going to be like what I said, reminiscent of the old company called Hyundai. Hyundai is doing a lot better now, aren't they? So Redcat, be Hyundai. Be Hyundai. I don't know. So anyways, it's RC Guy Garage, and what am I doing today? I'm staying inside because it's stinking cold. That's full trigger.